Hi, Claire.
Hi, Emma.
So we're gonna do a 20-minute full body hard class today with a dumbbell. So Claire is using one lighter weight between 5 to 10 pounds. Claire's gonna be using a 10-pound dumbbell, but use whatever feels good for you. Okay, we're gonna start seated on our bums with our feet in front of us. We're just gonna start with a warm up. So I want your hands behind your knees to start with a tall spine. And then when you're ready, you're gonna take a big exhale, round through the spine as much as you can and come into a halfway roll down. So you're straightening through your arms as you round through the spine, and then bend through the arms as you straighten through the spine. Like a little crank almost. It's just warming up a little bit through the back. Okay, so Rosalía just released her new album, Luxe. She says it uses no AI whatsoever. And at the same time, there's a different country song right now that's #1 on the Billboard charts, and it's fully AI generated and by an AI artist. Do you think there's a place for AI in music?
Okay, I think that like music, I feel quite passionately actually about this, which I'm kind of surprised because I'm not like a major music head. Music is like all about connecting with the artist, like through their lyrics, through their voice, through even like the melody and the beat of the song. And it's just like, that is legit what music is. And now you're gonna remove that and like what? I'm connecting with like a robot.
I've just about had enough of you. Be malfunctioning within a day, you nearsighted scrap pile.
So like, yes, AI can probably make a good song, clearly, but it's like that defeats the entire purpose. And I just went to like a book event actually, the David Marks, his new book called Blank Space, all about how like culture is pretty much like dead or like stagnating, if you will. And I feel like this is exactly the problem. It's like, how are we going to create and move culture along if we're not even using humans to create music? That's just ridiculous.
Okay, I'm gonna bring you to your next little warm-up position. I wasn't expecting such a rant so early on.
I'm
okay.
upset.
Tall spine, and then your hands are gonna come behind your head, okay? And then we're gonna keep going with the rounded spine, but now as you round, I want you to bring your elbows together. So round through the spine, bring your elbows together, and you're really tucking through the chin, trying to find as much roundness as possible, and then come back up. Good. So as you're doing this, you don't need to go as low as Claire. Think of it more as a warm-up than as like a halfway roll, but find as much roundness as you can as you come down and then come back up and open up. If you feel this in your hip flexors, just squeeze your legs together. What I'm not understanding is how an AI song could be so like wildly successful. Like clearly something is resonating with the masses. That's not a good thing. Like I don't think it's good.
We're so mainstream. Like all AI has to do is like be like, all right, what songs have performed well over the past X amount of years?
Take the average of like everything.
Exactly. Versus try and be like a little bit more risky and create something new that like no one has heard before, and like, you know, actually come up with something creative. Like people just like, it's so easy to settle for like a variation of something that we've liked in the past. And that's exactly what like AI is doing.
Wait, ramp pause, tall spine, and then grab onto your weight. We're gonna go into our first exercise. So I want you to squeeze your legs together. The bells are gonna go between both hands. And then we're gonna go into a full roll down now. So I want you to tuck through the pelvis and roll one vertebrae at a time all the way down to the floor. And then once you reach the bottom, you're gonna bring your hands up overhead, keeping a bent elbow, and tap the dumbbell above your head. Good. And then come all the way up. So draw your elbows back in and then tuck your chin, roll one vertebrae at a time all the way back up. So most important thing here is once you reach the bottom and bring the dumbbell up over your head, make sure to maintain engagement through the core. So you're not flaring the ribs to get that dumbbell up over your head. Nice.
I find that, okay, a few things. One is for me, really have to squeeze the legs together a ton. It'll help me engage through my core and help my hips relax. And also, when you send the arms overhead, like when you're lying down. Yes, you don't want your ribs to flare, but also like try to keep a little gap between like the mat and your low back so that you can keep your neutral spine, and that'll also help you like engage through the core a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. Last little thing is you don't actually need to tap the weight to the floor. So if you feel like you're straining through your neck and shoulders to get that weight all the way to the floor, just don't bring it so far. Think of it as like a little bit of a reach instead of a full tap. All right, we're gonna do 2 more full roll downs like this.
But the further you go, the harder it is, FYI,
Yes.
on your triceps and your core.
Yeah, tall spine. All right, last one. Rolling 1 vertebrae at a time down, and then rolling back up to a tall spine. And then we're gonna keep going with our roll downs, but now I want you to separate your feet. So your feet are gonna go about the width of your mat, okay? And then we're gonna keep going with our roll downs. So roll all the way down. We're gonna do that same tap overhead. So this is actually gonna be much more challenging now because we don't have the inner thigh squeeze. You can adjust your feet as you need. You have a bit less inner thigh and pelvic floor support here. And then at the top, extend the arms up to the ceiling. And then pull the elbows back in.
If it's too much on your hips to have like a ton of external rotation, you can just like decrease that a bit, like bring the feet like in a tad, but try to keep like a little bit of external rotation.
Yeah.
I'm extending the arms as I come up, right?
Yes, exactly. And then at the bottom, we're doing that same tap of the hands overhead to the floor. We're just gonna do 3 more full roll downs.
I love this.
It is very nice, especially after the squeezed legs together. Like you feel that inner thigh support in the wide leg.
Yep.
All right, 2 more. Make sure you're using your core to control you on the way up, not the neck. No momentum.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that. I feel like I have to
Yep.
like really keep a rounded spine and my chin tucked.
Last one, don't forget the arm reach. All right, tuck and roll. Extend the arms up overhead, last one. And then draw the elbows back down. We're gonna come just into a halfway roll. So halfway roll and hold, and then we're gonna go into a little twist. So just the belly button up is going to twist over to the right. So draw the weight down to your right hip, and then come back to center, draw the weight over to the other side. If it's too much now with the legs wide, just bring the feet in closer together. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna squeeze my heels together, but like keep the external rotation because like squeezing the heels kind of helps me relax through the hips.
Yep. Stay super grounded through both butt cheeks.
Oh,
Let's
my
do
obliques.
4. Yeah, this is challenging. For 3. Nice. 2 more. Breathe. Last one. Okay, you can drop the weight off to the side. Nice job. Okay, we're gonna go on to a side plank. Claire's considering what's going on outside. Come down onto your right forearm. The weight is gonna come with you on your top hip. So I want hips stacked on top of each other, knees stacked on top of each other. Okay, we're gonna lift up off of your bottom glute, press your pelvis forward to come all the way up into a side plank, and then lower your hips all the way back down. And we're gonna keep going. So lower and lift. As you lift up, I want the hips to stay stacked. So they're moving as a unit. You're pressing yourself forward, almost like you're pressing yourself up against a wall.
I personally find that it's more comfortable to have my elbow a little bit further away from my body so it's not directly under my shoulder, but adjust based on what feels good for you. And also, FYI, the closer the weight is to the knee, like if you bring it down the leg a little bit, it's going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah,
So
do as you wish.
you do you. Yeah.
All right.
I regretted that. Also, my arm is like too short to go too far down.
Careful at the bottom as you bring the hips down that you're not letting that top hip roll back. So we're not like relaxing at the bottom of the exercise. We still want to think activation as we lower the hips and we lift back up. Okay, 2 more.
Try to really press out of the bottom form and lift through the bottom oblique.
Yeah. All right, last one. Lift the hips up and forward and hold. We're going to extend the top leg, so that leg with the weight, in line with the body, and hold. Lower the leg down a few inches and lift back up a few inches. All right, keep going. And
Holy
breathe.
shit,
Yeah, this is very hard.
If this is too much also on your bottom knee, come down. Like let the bottom hip relax.
Yeah.
Like here, like to a side glute.
Otherwise, your bottom glute is working very hard to keep you lifted. Let's do 3 more. Breathe. For 2. Last one, lower the foot all the way to the ground and flex the foot. We're going to go into a full side plank. So flex the foot and just hold your side plank. Good. So top leg forward, bottom leg behind you. If you want more challenge, stack the feet on top of each other for 5, 4, breathe for 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips down.
Oh my
Nice
God,
job.
bottom shoulder.
Yeah, that's a lot of shoulder and a lot of bottom glute. Okay, come into a little Z stretch. So the bottom shoulder that was working, so your right shoulder is gonna come up and over, and you're staggering your legs into a Z shape. So right knee in front, left knee in back. Come up and over and stretch that supporting shoulder.
You sounded torn. Why were you torn?
About AI and music. Because I just think about all the like different technological tools that have helped move music forward throughout history. And I'm like, I wonder if this is just another one of those.
Think about how talented like a man can be with, or a woman, with just a guitar.
Gravity.
If you need AI to make music, you're not a real artist.
Oh, okay. All right, lay on your back. Bring
don't
your
agree?
dumbbell with you. No, I mean,
She's so uncomfy. So uncomfy.
arms reach up in front of you and your legs are gonna come up into tabletop. So knees above hips, 90-degree bend behind the knees. All right, we're gonna start with just a tap of the left knee. So left thigh moves away from your chest as your left toe taps towards the ground. So left
Bella's
side
in
toe
my
tap.
right hand, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then bring the knee back in. All right, so it's more about the thigh moving away from the face than the toe touching the ground. All right, keep going.
Yeah, it's like you really have to think about keeping the 90-degree bend behind your left knee, right? Like that's how you get really like the thigh going away from the face and like the pressure in the abdominals.
Yeah. As you bring the knee in, try not to let both knees kind of rock in towards you. So try to keep the opposing knee static. Okay, let's do 2 more and then we're adding on the arm.
One thing before we add on the arm, just so people can see, like a bad one of these is like when like you're rocking. See how I'm like increasing the gap
Yeah.
between my back and the mat? Like you don't want that. So if
Yep.
that's happening, just make it smaller. The toe tap.
All right. On this next toe tap, we're adding on the right arm. So as you tap the toe, you're gonna draw your right elbow down towards the floor like you're making an A shape. And then as you bring the knee in, press the arm back up. So this is like a little chest press plus a toe tap. Good. So you're not bringing the elbow all the way out to the side. You're not bringing it all the way towards your oblique. You're trying to bring it out on a diagonal, about 45 degrees away from the body. All right.
I'm finding it difficult to keep my left upper back and shoulder and my left hip like grounded. I feel like when I do the chest press, it kind of wants to lift off. So I really have to like use my abs to keep everything pressed down and center.
Yeah. Okay, one more, and then we're gonna switch over right away to the other side. Okay, lift up, and then switch the dumbbell over to the other side. And then we're gonna start with just the toe tap of the right leg. So right thigh moves away from the chest, and then pull it back in, and then keep going. Right thigh moves away from the chest, and then keep going. So use all of the little cues that we just talked about. Stay grounded through the shoulders, 90-degree bend behind the knee. All right. 6 more.
Okay, so for example, on this side, I feel like I have less range. Like I can't actually tap my foot all the way down. It's getting to my low back. I feel like that's pretty normal. Like sometimes like just like one side is just different than the other.
Yeah.
So pay attention. And like these can really get into your low back if you try to make it too big.
Let's do 2 more. Last one, and then add on the arm. So as you do the toe tap, bring your left elbow all the way down to the ground to a 45-degree angle away from the body, and then press back up, and then keep going. Yeah. I find with things like toe taps or leg extensions, people tend to want to go to like the maximum, and then you're actually not getting abs.
Yeah, like someone once told me this and I thought it was really helpful. Like to work your abs, you need like control. Like that's the best way. So it's like, that's what you should be going for, not range. Just like how stable and controlled can you do this thing? And that way you're gonna like get the most out of your ab exercise, which I always thought was like a really helpful thing to think of.
Yep. Okay, 3 more. For 2. Okay, last one. Okay, and then place the dumbbell off to the side. We're all done. Okay, we're gonna go into the side plank on the other side. So when you're ready, come over onto your left forearm and bring the dumbbell with you. The dumbbell is gonna go onto your top hip again. Try to mirror the same setup that you did on the other side. So depending on where you put the weight on your side glute or on your hip, do the same thing here. So elbow under shoulder, okay? And then when you're ready, lift both hips up off of the ground, press your pelvis forward to come up into your modified side plank, and then lower both hips all the way down to the ground. Okay. So same thing here. You're thinking of moving both hips as one unit, pressing them forward like you're trying to press your body up against a wall. All right, keep going. This is a lot for the bottom shoulder. Also, you will be feeling it there for sure. Okay. 5.
I have to really press out of my bottom forearm, and I personally have to be like very slow and controlled with this.
Yep. Yeah, no flailing. For 3, keep breathing. Try to relax your neck as much as you can. For 2.
Whew.
Okay, last one, hold the lift, and then extend your top leg long until it's in line with the body and hold. Lower the leg all the way down to the ground and then lift it back up. Okay, so try not to let the hips go up and down. It's just the top leg that's lifting and lowering. Let's do 6, breathe for 5.
Oh my God.
4, control through the bottom glute and bottom
My
oblique
bottom
for
shoulder.
3. Yep, breathe for 2. Last one, place the foot down to the floor and flex that foot. We're going into our full plank. So adjust if you need to. Come into your full plank and hold for 10, 9,
She meant side plank.
8, yes, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Oh my God.
1. Lower the hips slowly down. Okay.
That is so hard on my
Z-stretch.
bottom oblique and my bottom shoulder.
Yeah, it's very
Every
challenging
time.
with the weight. Okay, so Z shape. Left leg a little bit forward, right leg behind you, and then come up and over with your left arm. So it's that working arm, the elbow that you were just on that's coming up and over. Okay. Last little thing. we're gonna go into some modified push-ups. So the weight can go off to the side, we're not using it anymore. I want you to come into a modified plank. So your knees are actually gonna be pretty wide for this, close to the width of the mat. And then I want your feet lifted up off of the ground with your heels pressed together. Shoulders over wrists. Okay, we're gonna go into a tricep push-up. So heels super squeezed together. You're gonna come all the way down to the floor in a tricep push-up. So elbows super narrow and then press all the way up. We're just doing 6 of these. Okay.
These are so hard. Always and forever.
Yep, for 5.
Put your feet down if it's too much.
Yeah, and if you don't wanna go all the way down to the floor, you don't have to. Keep going for 4.
Oh my God.
So imagine like you're trying to squeeze your knees together like a magnet. Use your core for support for 3. For 2.
I'm slowing down.
All right, just 1 more. Okay, stay lifted. I just want you to adjust your hands a little bit so you're making a diamond shape. We're gonna go into wide push-ups now, just 6. All right, wide push-ups.
All right. But keep the hands separated still.
Exactly, yep.
I'm sweating.
All right, for 5, breathe, heels squeeze together, magnet between the knees, feel the support of the core. For 3, just 2 more. You got it. Just 1 more.
Oh my God.
Okay, and child's pose.
I really gave those my all in terms of my form, which is also why they're so
I know,
hard.
They looked flawless, actually. You look like you were trying to nosedive down to the ground. Okay, and we're just gonna thread. So thread your right hand underneath the left and relax your right shoulder all the way down to the floor. Okay, a little twist. Take a few breaths. I actually haven't listened to the AI song, and I wish I didn't know it was AI before listening to it, because I feel like I'm gonna have a pretty like jaded view when I'm listening to it, but I'm curious if it's actually good.
It's probably gonna be pop, like some
Yeah.
poppy thing.
Well, it's like country
This is
pop.
the thing. It's like,
Switch sides.
obviously, yes, AI could probably help in some ways, but it's just like, I think it's, I don't know, when it comes to art, like, you know what this is making me think of?
What were the crypto paintings? NFTs?
NFTs, yeah.
It's giving.
Which is something that was cool for like maybe 6 months during COVID, and everyone was very into it, and then it faded so fast. So I'm hopeful that this is a similar kind of phenomenon.
I don't think people are going to be able, even if the AI song was good, I think longer term people are not going to be able to connect with it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like
There's no lasting power.
No, exactly. Because like, again, music is like emotional. It's like, it's someone's experience. Like, I didn't think I'd feel so passionate about this. If this is the first time you've met me, and I'm not usually like, I don't know. I don't usually have, I mean, I do have strong opinions, but like, I feel quite passionate about this, actually.
Yeah.
It's a bit sad.
You're usually passionate and excited, not passionate and sad.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.